What up, y'all? I'm back. This video will be a bit shorter because I kind of explained a lot of stuff in the last video. But yeah, I'm back to read you guys my next poem called "Tiny Ship." So okay. Actually, no, it's okay. You know what? I'm gonna hold off because I thought I had something to say to you guys, but I'm gonna hold off for the next video. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm trying to keep things like, like a little hush hush close to the chest so I can just keep you guys on your toes. So, you can like steadily keep watching these videos and I can make some money maybe. I don't know, maybe. It's not just about the money. I would like to make some money off of my work, off of my art, but it's really not. I just really want people to read it. I feel like it'll help, especially during these times. The one thing I slightly regret is that I waited so long because I feel like some years prior would have been a better time to put it out, but whatever, we gotta put it out at some point. But at least it's out. But yeah, still feel like it's still pretty relevant. And I feel like it just will help people who are like me, who deal with all these different thoughts in your head. And I've gone through these different situations where these thoughts start to plague your mind and make you feel very, very lonely, very, very confused, very, very isolated, and sometimes very, very angry. And living in the world that we do live, I feel like doesn't really help. It actually kind of exacerbates those feelings because of social media and the like. And so I just feel like this book will help people who maybe have these feelings and don't know how to voice it or not voice it in an artistic way, or be able to describe them in a way that not only is like analytical but also personal and really goes down deep into the core of like how they're truly feeling, And so yeah, so it's really, really why I want to put this out there. Just I was feeling like this for all these years, going through this and blah, blah, blah. And now I'm putting it out there to show other people, you're not alone. It's cliche, but you're not alone. Sometimes we all have these bad thoughts. Sometimes we all have these lonely nights and these things that just make us feel uneasy all the time, and rightfully so sometimes. And then being able to forgive ourselves when we've gone through and done things that we regret and stuff like that. So yeah, that's really why I really want to have it out there. So this is the this is the second poem off of my upcoming first published poetry book, You Write Something's Wrong. That's the title. And this poem is called Tiny Ship. When I walked into the dark, the room became them, empty, filled with boredom, and so the lines of coke washed over them like salvation, a vacation with innocuous laughing that gestured I was seeking a bull I couldn't tame. And so I left. And everyone downstairs looked the same, dressed the same, pawns to their endgame, but no one knew how to play. So they turned the music louder. And I was the oldest, and as I turned down the bag of powder, I continued to float in waves of confused amazement, wondering if I was such a tiny ship, and if these kids would ever know how far the abyss can get. So yeah, that was Tiny Ship, and I liked writing this poem a lot because it was just very, I won't say non-poetic, but it was like, it's very more of like a narrative, which I enjoyed. I enjoy poetry that like you find the poetics in the narrative, and it's not just pretty words all the time. But yeah, I mean, this one is experience that I had while I was living in Los Angeles, and when I say kids, I mean like I was hanging out with fucking like 15, 14, like even now, if someone is like 25 or below, I'm like, you're a kid. And I probably shouldn't do that. And it's like, patronizing, but it's just like, I don't know. Like at that moment, I was like 27. And I'm pretty sure everybody there was like, I don't know, 22, 21. And so in my mind, I was like kids. But yeah, I was at a house party, and I went to a room. People were doing some stuff, and I was like, "Whoa!" And I don't know. I just remember that night, and I remember specifically because it was upstairs, and I remember specifically looking down, and that was like a moment where I realized I'm the older person here. Like it's officially hitting. I'm getting to the point where I'm too old to be hanging with certain crowds. And I was just like, okay. It was like, I don't know, it wasn't like a big, crazy like feeling, but I was just realizing, huh. And then then also doing that and then watching and seeing people who are younger, and you start wondering, was I like that? Was I like that when I was younger? I've never done, not like, I know it said lines of Coke, which we're doing, but I've never done that. I don't do that. I like coffee. Coffee can do that enough. I don't want to pay for that stuff nor do it. But I've been around people who have, and not trying to judge. It was just like seeing that being in that party just made me start to realize my age, made me start to realize like wondering, you start just questioning, how is that how I was? And it was just you are in this confused amazement. You're like, huh, wow, is that how I and it's funny. It was more funny, but it's also a little serious too, because you're like, God, I just hope they don't overdo it, because I've known people who overdo it, and that can lead you down a road you don't want to go down. And I mean, I know I've overdone it, in my life with like alcohol, but and you just like in these all these different feelings. That's really where all this is coming. This poem was coming from. All these different feelings during that one night, and I just remembered that night. I still can remember that night so vividly. It's weird, and I think I guess just because I have it written down now. But yeah. So that's Tiny Ship, and for the next poem, it is called Imprisoned, and I remember this too. I remember all these things, but I remember like when I wrote this and stuff, and so yeah, it's called Imprisoned, and that will be read on my next video. But alright, y'all, I will talk to y'all later.